Welcome back to Double Nickel. I'm recording this morning from our hotel balcony at North Reddington Beach, just outside of Clearwater, Florida. And I want to share with you three things that I've been able to apply, and we've been able to apply this week on a trip that we almost canceled. And some of the insights and concepts that I've been sharing with you in previous episodes, and maybe I've articulated well, maybe I haven't, sort of came home to me this week as we've been on this trip. And I think there are three things that are important characteristics or traits or habits, maybe you want to call them, as you maybe think about transitioning into retirement yourself, or you're already there, or if you're going through any other challenge or transition. Maybe you're starting a business, maybe you've taken a new job, you've moved somewhere new. I think these principles, these approaches apply to any of those things. Well, the first thing is there's never a perfect time. There's usually never a perfect time for anything. And the example I want to share with you is before we came here, we went to Sanibel Island. We wanted to go there for probably 25 years and just never gotten around to it. Well, this week is our anniversary, and we decided we'd make the trip. And we love seashelling, and Sanibel is renowned for that. I will tell you, it's an incredible place. The volume of seashells there, it's mind-boggling, really, to be honest with you. If you enjoy that, I highly recommend you go. But there was a tropical storm in the Gulf, and as we looked at that and looked at the weather, we thought about canceling the trip and just said, we'll go another time. It's a long ways down there, south of Tampa from where we are, and maybe we'll just do something else. But we ended up staying with it. We went ahead and took the trip and overcome the obstacle of the tropical storm. And while there was a lot of aggressive wave action there at Sanibel, never rained on us. There was a lot of wind. But we were able to go and enjoy ourselves and do some shelling, collect some seashells more than we normally would at the other beaches we go to. I had a great time, and I'm so thankful that we went. We may never go back. And it's kind of been a bucket list item for us to go down there and spend a little bit of time. So we did that, and we overcome the urge to cancel or to change plans that started creeping in on us. And that was very glad that we did that, because we'd have missed out on a great experience if we hadn't been willing to overcome the resistance that we were experiencing with the weather and waited for a better time. There may not have been a better time. And in my experience, I'm finding that the best time is now, if it's reasonable at all. So that's the first thing, a first attribute that I think you're going to have to develop in retirement, especially, is waiting for something that's the perfect time. Things are optimal. It's ideal. And that may happen sometimes. Certainly it has with some of our other experiences that we've been on and vacations. But in this case, it wasn't perfect. Ended up being great anyway. And we spent a few days there before we came up here to the Clearwater area. The second thing I want to share with you about is overcoming setbacks. That is going to be essential as you enter into retirement. Recently, I recorded a couple of episodes. One of them was about hitting the wall and the difficulty it had in my back. I'm not going to go into that anymore. I've shared with you. It ended up being a kidney stone. But there are some challenges with my back. So that is a real thing. Got some help recording here with the gulls. But there are some real challenges with back pain. And then difficulty making decisions. That sort of refers back to that first point I made about not waiting for the perfect time. And so you're going to run into things. You're going to run into resistance. Things aren't going to go perfect every time. So as I was trying to work through what I was going to do about the challenge of driving and the difficulty it caused my back, I did a little bit of research and found out just a simple seat cushion. I think I got it for like $25-30 off Amazon. I added it to my truck. It's not perfectly comfortable. It's not the ideal resolution, not an ideal time, but it was a big upgrade, and the additional cushion allows for a little bit more give as I hit bumps and the seams in the road. I think maybe the repetition of hitting those concrete seams on the highway caused some discomfort on my back, but the cushion made that so much easier for me. I still had a little bit of soreness and difficulty, but I think any of us who travel many hours and drive multiple hours probably end up uncomfortable and stiff. I know that was the case even before my back surgery, so sure that's not some unique thing for me. And so instead of just giving up because it was difficult to drive, I did some investigating, found out a cushion would help, added it, and sure enough, that took away some of the discomfort, made the long distance drive much more bearable. And I intend to continue using that cushion or one like it from here on to make the travel easier. So just like the tropical storm was an obstacle, the back pain was a little bit of an obstacle, you can't wait for the perfect time, and you're going to run into some resistance with the plans or the things that you want to do. You're not going to get it exactly right the first time. You have to overcome those things, keep trying, don't give up. You may have a personality like I do sometimes. I unfortunately may jump to the worst conclusion or think it's worse than it is. Maybe you have a little bit of a pessimistic viewpoint at life, and that has to do with challenges you face probably. But I'd encourage you to overcome those things. Press on. Don't allow the first resistance you run into to defeat you. Look for ways to solve those problems. And usually there's an efficient and reasonable option that you can leverage to get past whatever it is that's the setback that's in front of you. So keep pressing forward and don't allow difficulties to stop you. And then the other thing is you just have to try things. Adding the seat cushion, for example, I was like, oh man, that's an old man thing. But you know what? I am an older guy. I'm 55, and that's not really old, but not 25 anymore. So be willing to try some things that are different and new. One thing I want to share with you, an update on trying something new, is my fridge setup in the truck. This isn't really an equipment video, but a little lesson I learned about trying something new. There's a lot more heat now than when I've been traveling before. Obviously, we're in Florida in the summer, and so it's really hot. And the portable power supply that I have, the Anchor power supply, is not lasting as long. And so what I've done is in the little freezer section of my mini fridge in the bed of the truck, I've added one of those ice blocks that you put in the freezer and it freezes up and keeps things cold for you. And then I have another one that I'm keeping in the cooler where we keep things like drinks that we don't care if they're wet. And so I alternate those. When I put the frozen one in the cooler, I take the one that's thawed and move it over to the fridge, and it freezes pretty rapidly. What that does is, as the refrigerator is cycling, the refrigerator compressor doesn't have to run as often because there's some residual cooling effect from that ice block in the little freezer space in the mini fridge. So it takes some of the burden off of the power supply, and it lasts longer. So simple little fix, sort of an obstacle I ran into, and I decided, you know what, instead of spending $700-800 on a 12-volt refrigerator for the vehicle, let's try to see if we can come up with another way to retain some of the cold in the mini fridge. The other thing is make sure you keep some things in the fridge, like drinks and stuff, so that as the compressor kicks off, the residual cold within those drinks and in that ice block, for example, help keep the fridge cooler longer, and the compressor doesn't cycle as often. Saves you a little bit of your energy from your power supply if that's the setup you're working with. So that was a new thing that I tried. I was happy with the result. The power drain was not much slower, but significantly slower than it was before, enough that now I can get 18 or so hours out of it like I was before when the weather was cooler. So that's quite a long time without having to start the truck and recharge the power supply. So there's some things, some lessons that I've been thinking about, some concepts that are, I think, really important for me to remember, and hopefully they're valuable to you if you're in retirement or nearing retirement. Don't wait for the perfect time. There's never going to be one. There are certainly things that can happen that make a particular timing impossible, but Often it's just a matter of overcoming some of those obstacles that get in our way, and being willing to try some new things that maybe we haven't before. So don't wait for that perfect time. Battle through adversity, and be willing to adventure a little bit and explore and try some things maybe you haven't in the past. Well, listen, if you enjoy this content and these videos, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and give this video a like. Maybe share this one or another one of my videos on your social media so others can help. It can help me get others to discover the content. I'd appreciate that if that's the case for you. Well, hey, until next time, we'll see where it is that Double Nickel takes us.